All right, welcome in and a happy Friday to you. No in-season tournament to talk about here. We will have a final, of course, tomorrow, and one of the panel members here, I think we can all figure out who he might be betting on tomorrow. But we have plenty of games tonight here in the association that don't involve the Lakers or the Indiana Pacers, and we'll discuss a bunch of these games with you here today with three of the most profitable on the hardwood here in the association at WagerTalk. As Skee Profit in the house. Shocked you're still out celebrating that ass whooping your Lakers laid on New Orleans last night, but it's good to see you upright. Mr. Kabang is in the house, as well as Teddy Covers, ready to go here, gentlemen, on a loaded card tonight here in the association. And as we usually do, we'll start with the contrarian gods. Let's take a look at who they are focusing their attention on. And of course they are. It's the New York Knicks here, who are getting 7 on the road, taking on the Boston Celtics. Both these teams came up a little bit short here earlier in the week in their quest to get a trip to Vegas to play for this in-season tournament. But looks like an awful lot of people running to the window to back the Celtics here, but this line ain't moving here, Knicks. The contrarian gods think there might be some value with them. What do you think?
Well, I'm not on Boston full game. I'll say that. But I can understand why a lot of people like Boston today and why there's reasons to like the Knicks. Both teams were embarrassed, I think, getting put out of that play-in tournament. You can make an argument the Knicks were more embarrassed with
Mm,
the differential in their matchup. But the thing I don't like for the Knicks is, right after that, they started talking is, they want to start making a trade for an all-star. That lets me know that after that game, they realize they're not comfortable with what they have. Whereas
mm.
Boston, they've just been missing, one of their stars, one of their starting big men, and he's a big difference for this Celtics team this season. So they get him back in this game, and Celtics off of a loss. The way I'm gonna look at it, they've had, I think, um, uh, the last four at least for sure. But Celtics off of a loss in the first quarter. That's the way to look. First quarter in general, and I'm realizing I'm having a no sheet here in front of me. But Celtics in general in the first quarter, they have the best differential in the league. It's about plus 6.3, and the Knicks they're good too, but I think the Celtics are just better. Knicks are plus 2.6. So I want to play the first quarter where Porzingis is going to be on the floor for majority of the game. I don't want to rely too much on the bench. So that's my thought process. So I'll be on Celtics first quarter. I'll let you guys have the Knicks for the full game as the contrarian play.
All right, good stuff there. Porzingis probable, so he'll be a welcome addition there. What do you think, though, RC? The Knicks getting touchdown, a little more than that? What are you thinking?
Yeah, normally I would back the contrarian gods, but not this time around. I hate to do it, but I gotta disagree this time. I do think that the Knicks they struggle against their top tier opponents, right? They're 1-5 against the spread so far this season against teams with a winning record. And then the one time that they did cover in that situation, their opponent was on the second leg of back-to-back games, and I think they only won that game by like 2 points or something like that. Now on the other hand, you got the Celtics. They have yet to lose a home game. They're 9-0 so far this season. 6-3 against the spread. They do look and play a lot better at home than they do on the road. And then if you look at like the matchups between these two teams, they've already played each other twice. I think it's twice this season. And the Knicks lost both games. They failed to cover in both games. Both games went under as well. So to me, this just seems like a matchup thing. Tatum went for 34 and 35 in those two games. Randall shot for 12 out of 41 in those two games combined. That's under 30% from the field against the Celtics team. And then they get KP back, like Skee says. So if Randall doesn't figure out how to score against the Celtics defense, which is the second best defensive rated team in the league right now, the Knicks are probably going to struggle to score in this one and struggle to keep this one close. So I do think that the Celtics win and cover this one pretty easily.
Oh, all right. Thinking it's easy peasy there for the Celtics. A lot of people agree with that, but Teddy, I mean, if you'd have told me the Knicks dropped 70 points in the first half in a game, I'd have been like, oh, man, they must have coasted. Yeah, no, it wasn't enough because the Milwaukee Bucks apparently weren't in the mood to miss any threes there. I would imagine the quotes from Thibs and company weren't pleased with their defensive effort in that one. So are you seeing anything that leads you to believe the Knicks getting that many points might be the side here tonight?
Absolutely. I mean, if the first two guys aren't going to go contrarian, I'm making a case that we should. And I was making that case anyway. And the key here for me is Porzingis coming back in the lineup. How many times do we need to see it? All right. The guy comes back after an extended absence. He's been out for a couple of weeks now. The rest of the team goes, oh, we got our star back, and exhales. The rotations are messed up. The bench doesn't play well because now the bench rotations are, we saw this with Denver against the Clips, 2 nights ago, where, Jamal Murray's back. Let's get the money's poured in on Denver. And what happens? The rotations are off. The bench has their worst game in weeks. And the fourth quarter game on the line, the team that had been playing together as a unit in recent weeks ended up getting the money with the win and cover. So the return of Porzingis, the markets go one way. Game one, I'm going the other way. Knicks plus the points. And again, the Knicks offensively were brilliant against Milwaukee for extended stretches of that game. The Bucks just had one of those games where they didn't miss. If Boston has a game where they hit 60% from 2 and 60% from 3, the contrarian play is not cashing tonight. But I'm not convinced we're going to see 60% plus from the Celtics in both categories like we did from the Bucks on Wednesday. So give me the points with the Knickerbockers.
All right. See, there we go. We got lunch. Thank God. Because I was going to say, if we would have got across the board with the Celtics, we would have been in big trouble here, gentlemen. But it worked the other night there, Skee, as you were the lone wolf that took Miami there, agreed with the contrarian gods against Toronto. Voila. Teddy tonight, hanging out on an island there, looking at it with the Knicks getting 7. So let's take a look here at a featured matchup tonight. And it looks like the NBA up to old tricks again with the sudden and quick injuries that may be popping up here across the card tonight. Atlanta, looks like Trae Young not feeling well here. And, in their defense, this has been an awful lot of games, Skee, in a week, I think 2. So now they got to take on the Sixers here. So what happens? No Trae Young. It looks like Oubre, looks like everyone else seems to be okay here for both teams outside of the big megastar Trae. Is it enough to make you look at the Sixers here, or is the total affected? What do you think happens in this one?
Well, I can understand why the total drops with Trae Young being out. I mean, that's points gone. He's not the greatest defender. I can absolutely understand that. But I still think the game will be played with pace from the Atlanta side, and Philadelphia welcomes pace as well. So it's hard for me to get to this game with an under. 2 teams that are top 10 in three-point percentage. You have Atlanta, who's bottom 10 defending the 3. Although, for whatever reason, 9 of the last 12 meetings between these teams have gone under. Maybe some of those were playoff games, but still for this one, I lean a little bit different towards the over. Philly has went their way 5 games straight. As far as the side is concerned, Philly has been good as a home favorite. They've been better in all the categories that I care about lately: offensive rating, defensive rating, and rebound percentage. But and Atlanta hasn't been good versus competition. They haven't been good at all in general on the point spread. But I remember a time throughout last season where Trae Young was out and this team still played good, maybe even a little bit better when they had Murray out there. So I think they can keep it competitive in this game. At the same time, we talk about it all the time. The star player goes out for one team. The guys who are stepping in step up, while the other team starts to overlook them. So I would lean towards the Hawks here, still lean towards the over, and that's how I play this game.
All right, leaning toward a 9.5, I think is what I'm seeing here, right around 235 there, RC. Obviously, from a scoring perspective, like Skee said, not having Trae Young's not great. You already lost Jalen Johnson to a broken wrist. So is it enough to elevate, though, and motivate these guys to stay within this number against Philly, or is it maybe a blowout city here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jalen Johnson is sort of underrated for these guys. He's like one of those glue guys that every team needs. And since he's been out, they've actually failed to cover every single game on the spread. And then obviously Trey Young is out now. So just a combination of both of those guys that's going to hurt this Hawks team. In general, the Hawks have been one of the worst ATS teams in the league this season, 5-15 against the spread so far. And then you look at the Sixers side, they're fully healthy in this one. That's the reason why they are so heavily favored. And the number seems to continue moving in that direction as well. The Sixers, like Skee said, solid at home, especially as a favorite, 7-3 straight up and against the spread. Also to the over when Philly plays at home. So that's another look towards the over there for Skee. But for me, if you look at some of the statistical interactions, Philly top 10 in both average points per game in the paint and fast break points. The Hawks bottom 4 in defending both points in the paint and fast break points. So it's nothing I have in my pocket, but if anything, I would look towards Philly in this one to win by double digits.
All right, looking for Philly here. Embiid was a little under the weather the last couple of games. I mean, didn't stop him from dropping 50, I think, against Washington, but he did say he was having a little trouble getting up and down the court. Probably feels a little better tonight, Teddy. You feeling a double-digit win also for Philly here, or is Atlanta not being given enough credit?
I am not expecting a double-digit win for Philadelphia tonight. I did a standalone video for WagerTalk on this game. It's available right now on YouTube, and you can get more detailed analysis from me on the Hawks and the Sixers. But for me, it comes down to 1 point. Much like we were talking about the Celtics with Porzingis back, here's Atlanta with Trey Young out. Look what the markets did. They basically yawned. We see a little bit of Sixers money, but not a lot of Sixers money. The betting markets are telling you, plain, clear as day, Trey Young's not Atlanta's most important player from a point spread perspective. He's not. And Skee even said it. He watched last year when the Hawks were playing without Trey Young. Bet on team. This year, they played one game without Trey Young. They won on the road. I mean, Detroit is nothing. Everyone wins on the road at Detroit. But they won without their superstar player. And on the other side of the equation, we see it again and again and again. It's a prevailing theme in the NBA. When the stars don't play for the one team, the other team lets down. Yeah, Philly will probably find a way to win this game. I don't expect them to win by margin. Give me Atlanta plus the points.
All right, there you go. Interesting one here tonight in Philly. 7 o'clock tip-off there with the Hawks and the Sixers. And that leads us to an overtime game. We'll focus on a total in this one. And we're going to head to OKC, where the Thunder didn't score an awful lot there against Houston the other night. And Golden State forgot how to make a three. But against Portland, but they did somehow manage to win that game. But all in all, 236.5. Now, it would appear, Skee, I think the last couple of times these two teams have played, points have not been a problem. Is it that way for you again here tonight? Is this simply an over or pass the spot, or is there any value in the under?
Yeah, it'd have to be over or pass for me. You can look at how these teams have played each other. You can look at how they play lately. I mean, both signs point towards over. Last 7 meetings, up and over. I think Golden State has went over 8 of their last 12 games, and OKC 6 of their last 9. So I definitely think both teams will play with pace. I will mention, though, both teams top 10 defensive rated teams the last 5 games, and both teams top 10 defending the 3 on the season. So those are not things that I like when I'm looking at an under. But I think one player in particular cares to prove a little bit of something or get a little bit of revenge in this game. And if number 30, is on fire the way I think he will be tonight, it's probably going to lead towards an over. So I will agree. Overtime is high for a reason.
Yeah, Teddy, I mean, there's no doubt that we're probably getting points in this one here. I would imagine if it ain't broke, don't fix it, unless you seem to think there might be a reason where defense is being played in this one here tonight.
Not if you're reading Steve Kerr's quotes. It's Kerr's quotes coming out of the last game were like, I got to adjust the rotations. We don't really have the chemistry right now. We're 20 games in and we're not seeing the progress. It wasn't exactly a bevy of positive quotes from Steve Kerr the last time out. But I didn't get a sense from that whether Golden State is going to try to push pace, whether they're going to bring it on the defensive end. I didn't really get a feel for what the mindset is for this game. And usually when I'm reading those coaches' quotes, a lot of times you can read between the lines and get that sense. I didn't get that sense for Golden State. They're struggling on both ends of the floor right now. But one thing they're not doing is struggling with pace. Both these teams, top 10 in pace ratings this season. I would expect pace again tonight. And we think about how Golden State's at their best. They love to get out and run. It's not like OKC's transition defense is anything to be excited about. So, yeah, I guess I'm leaning over in this one. Nothing I'm going to get to the betting window with. But if you want an opinion, there's my opinion. Over or pass.
236 and a half, RC. Again, you expecting points in this one, or you think there's some value maybe looking at the under? Maybe they're not as point-driven here on a Friday.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at these two teams historically, they've actually gone over the total in 7 straight matchups dating back to last season. And then, each one of the games this season, they went over by double digits, if I'm not mistaken either. I know the last one, it did go over because they went into OT. But I can only look towards the over again in this one. I think the biggest thing that kind of pushes me or makes me lean towards the over in this one is just the fact that these two teams go to the free throw line a lot, and then they send opponents to the free throw line a lot as well at a high rate. So even if shots aren't falling, they do take advantage at the line because they're both really great free throw shooting teams. And then also when there are a ton of fouls called, especially early on in the game, it tends to set the tone for the rest of the game, right? Players start to like avoid contact and things like that. Let offensive players get through. So I think in my opinion, I think this is going to go over. Not a lot of defense, especially towards the second half. I think if you're gonna take an over, I would say the second half over, especially if the Thunder are up at half. Because one thing I noticed with them, when they're up at the half, they tend to pick up pace and try to. They don't let off the gas pedal. And in home games specifically, first half of games, average combined score in OKC, 114.4 per game, but in the second half, it's over 120 per game. So there's a big gap between the first and second half. Like I said, especially if the Thunder are up at half, I would probably look towards the over in the second half.
All right. Oh, there you go. Not a bad way to approach that one. OKC taking on Golden State here tonight. And just a quick reminder, if you are joining us for the first time, the NBA Tip-Off Show, we appreciate you hanging with us. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, become part of the WagerTalk TV family. As you heard Teddy mention earlier, plenty of content about the big matchups today and actually all weekend long available here at our YouTube channel here at WagerTalk TV. And, of course, those joining us live here in the chat room, happy Friday to you. Certainly appreciate you hanging with us. Smash that like button. You guys know the routine as we get ready to talk about some dogs. All right, Robert, let's see who might be barking here tonight.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, we got plenty here tonight to choose from. I got the Pit. Well, nobody wants the Pistons. But you do have the Heat, the Rockets, the Jazz. You got the Spurs, the Grizz, Wizards, Hornets, Suns. We got a whole lot of opportunities for dogs to be barking here tonight. So, Skee, kick us off, man. There's got to be one on here that's barking for you tonight. Which one do you like?
Yeah, well, I'll go back to the game that we were just talking about, Golden State and OKC. And I hear everything Teddy has to say, and I see it when Kerr's not making the right substitutions, et cetera, et cetera. But there's one player that I absolutely trust tonight, and he hasn't said anything about it. But when I came on here on Wednesday, I took the Blazers because I said that the Warriors would overlook that game because they cared about this game. Back-to-back losses versus OKC, and you had SGA right after the game last game, putting up all kind of highlights, all with Steph Curry in them. Almost like taking shots at Steph Curry, like video after video on his Instagram. And I'm sure he saw that, and I'm sure this team remembers those two losses versus OKC. So I think they give more effort, and they've been the better defensive rated team lately. Last 5 games, they've been the better rebounding team. They're 5-2 so far as a road dog this season. Catching points, I think they can win this game outright. So they'll be my barking dog tonight.
Oh, woof, woof there with Golden State. All right, RC, plenty of choices here for dogs. Some interesting teams. What are you looking at here? Who might be barking?
Yeah, my favorite dog actually is my best bet. So if I'm gonna pick another dog here, I'm gonna go with the Grizzlies +6. They've been playing a little bit better now, especially recently. They've covered 4 straight. They're putting things together on the defensive end. They've kept their I think 3 of the last 4 opponents under their team total by a pretty decent margin. And the one that went over by the hook. So like I said, their defense is playing really well. The Grizzlies were on the second leg of back-to-back games in that one, so they just didn't have the legs to play the defense that they've been kind of playing up to. The Wolves, on the other hand, they've been very inconsistent, especially on the offensive side of the ball lately. They've gone under their team total in 5 of their last 7 games. And one of the games that they went over was against the Grizzlies, but the Grizzlies were missing a ton of players. They still are, but they were missing Tillman, which is depth that they need to kind of defend the paint there. And that's where the Wolves killed them in the paint in that game. And with Tillman back, I think that should limit them enough for the Grizzlies to cover this game. I think if the Wolves continue to struggle offensively like they have in the last few games, they should be able to keep this one close.
All right, Memphis there getting 5.5, lowest total of the night. Teddy, all right, some intriguing dogs here. I know you got one circled, so tell us which one is it, man?
Let's talk about the Miami Heat as home underdogs tonight against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Of course, these two teams met just a couple of weeks ago in Cleveland. 129-96. Miami won that game. I don't know that it was that close necessarily. And all the concerns. The Heat are going to be without Bam Adebayo tonight. Bam Adebayo didn't play in that game either. And that's the weirdest thing about the betting marketplace for Miami. The betting marketplace is so worried about Miami injuries here and there, and is this guy playing? Is that guy playing? And Miami's kind of an injury-proof team. Jimmy Butler is not injured. Jimmy Butler's the one guy that I need in the lineup. But one thing that Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra have done is they've crafted a roster where this guy's hurt, this guy steps up. This guy's hurt, this guy steps in. And they've been doing this way for years. And the markets, for whatever reason, they don't seem to understand that concept for Miami. Cleveland's won, 4 of their last 5. They're in good current form. They're coming off a game, maybe their best. I mean, they played really well the other night. And they played for 48 minutes, which has been the exception rather than the rule for the Cavs. I'm not convinced they put a performance like that twice in a row. Miami plus. Easy choice for this better.
Miami plus. Yes, you and the Contrarian Gods loved them the other night. Skee was on them, and Teddy back on them tonight here. Expect Miami, plug and play, and just continue to roll. All right, so there you got it. We got dogs. We got some featured matchups, and now it is time to talk some best bets, and these guys all have one, so here's how it works. We throw 60 seconds on the clock. These guys can do whatever the hell they want with that 60 seconds as long as they provide us a best bet in there. So, Skee, go ahead, man. 60 seconds on the clock. Hit us with a step back 3 here, man. Where you rolling tonight?
I will look at a team that I would love to fade any chance that I can get. But I'll tell you why I don't like them here today, and that's going to be the Clippers. You look at this team. It's a team that absolutely plays down the competition. First less than 45% win team so far this season. They've covered 1 out of 6 games. This Jazz team, they've been pretty good at home so far this season, especially the last 6 games. They've covered those straight 2 versus the Blazers, 2 versus the Pelicans, 2 versus the Suns. So I would argue, it's 2 very respected teams in the Pelicans and the Suns that they played well against. They're 5-2 as a home dog in general. This season, they've covered 8 of their last 12 games. They've been a better rebounding team than the Clippers here tonight. I just think the Clippers need a little bit more time to get everything, all the cohesion together over there. And I think Utah's playing well right now. They've been doing it without Markkanen, without Clarkson for some games. They're going to get Clarkson back tonight. Olynyk should be back in the lineup. Jazz get the job done tonight.
Ooh! Yeah, I mean, damn, Skee. I mean, I know they canned your ass and you went to LA to the Lakers, but damn, dude, you running roughshod over them poor bastards there at the Clippers. Whoo! All right, so we got a total fade of the Clippers here tonight, RC. Now you mentioned this might be a dog tonight, so 60 seconds on the clock. Tell us which dog is your best bet.
Yeah, I'm going with a dog here. The Rockets +9. I think you could probably get like
Woo!
9.5.
All right, turn the
Maybe.
clock off. This is good.
One of
God,
the things I look
Jesus.
at in my handicap process, travel fatigue. Travel fatigue is big, and this is the 15th straight game the Nuggets have had to travel. They haven't had multiple home games or games in the same arena in a row since November 8th. And since then, the Nuggets are 7-7 straight up, but 3-10-1 against the spread. And their offense tends to struggle, more so in the second half, which kind of says that they do get hit with that fatigue in the second half. Since November 8th, their first half score is 58.1 per game, and in the second half, it dips down to 53.8. The Rockets, on the other hand, one of the best ATS teams in the league, 11-5-2 so far this season, and the Nuggets have failed to cover against the Rockets all three matchups this season. The Rockets actually won two of them outright. The Nuggets did win the last one by 10, but the Rockets were on the second leg of back-to-back games, so everything pointing towards the Rockets.
All right, I like it. The Rockets it is. I'm shocked you even got a buzzer there, if we're being completely honest, RC. I was waiting for the applause, actually. Well done, man. Houston it is. That leaves us with Teddy to close it out here. Teddy, 60 seconds on the clock. Point us in the direction of a best bet on the card tonight.
Yeah. This is a client play for me on Friday night. And we're going to fade the Phoenix Suns. The struggling Phoenix Suns. 1-3 straight up, 0-4 against the spread their last 4 ball games. Phoenix consistently losing games at home of late. And, of course, Bradley Beal's back at practice. Yeah, but Bradley Beal's not playing tonight. Kevin Durant's not playing tonight. Grayson Allen, who has been very good for Phoenix this year. Both ends of the floor. He's been raining threes, and he's been a defensive stopper. Grayson Allen's not playing tonight either. So you got Devin Booker and what? Nurkic? I'll take my chance with Sabonis against Nurkic this evening. Eric Gordon. I mean, Phoenix without their stars is a paper tiger. Sacramento, Mike Brown was not amused by the way New Orleans pushed him around to knock them out of the NBA Cup. I'm expecting a bounce back here. Sacramento minus the deuce for this bet.
Ooh. Oh, man, I was getting all excited to see that big 3 tonight for Phoenix. And then all of a sudden, nope, Beal's out, Durant's out, everybody's out. Well, they do have a lot of games that they've played this week. One. Oh, and they're off tomorrow, too. So, yes, way to go. Gotta love it, NBA. There you got it one more time for those of you who are cheating and just coming to this point in the video. The Rockets +9 for RC. That's his best bet here tonight. Skee profit. Damn you, Clippers. He is never going to get over that. +7.5 here is where he is looking, as well as Teddy says, sorry, Phoenix. Maybe next time. Kings laying the 2 tonight against the Suns. And again, if you hit that subscribe button, you'll be able to get access to all of the head-to-head videos, content videos, whether it be NBA, college basketball, NFL Week 14 here, NHL. We got a little something for everybody here. Loaded slate coming up this weekend. Now would be a good time to take advantage of that end-of-year special we've got going on. What does that mean? Well, that means you get an all-access pass now through December 31st. Partner up with Teddy, RC, Skee. Get every play, every sport that they have right through the end of the year here. Just $1.99, no coupon needed. Just head over to their page at WagerTalk.com. And that'll do it for us here on a Friday. Again, those of you joining us live, smash that like button. We certainly appreciate it. Those of you new, hit that subscribe button, become part of the family, and make plans to come back and join us again on Monday for another edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show. But before you go ahead, click on that video on the screen right now and go check out the rest of the head-to-head big matchup videos that we have here @WagerTalk TV. Good luck with your plays. We'll talk again soon.